On this edition of Southern Newsweek, Dunedin joins the nation in remembering victims of the Christchurch terror attack. A group of Taiwanese school pupils experience country life in Balclutha, and we catch up with the Dunedin rally driver Emma Gilmore ahead of this season. Kia ora, good evening, I'm Melissa Barton. Dunedin locals had the chance to remember the victims of the Christchurch terror attack as the country observed a National Day of Remembrance. While the main event took place at Hagley Park in Christchurch, Dunedin people gathered at the town hall to pay their respects.
Politicians, police, members of the Muslim community and runanga side by side at the Dunedin town hall today, 2 weeks after the Christchurch terror attack. Otago Muslim Association Chairman Muhammad Rizwan shared verse from the Quran with those in attendance in the hope it provides everyone with strength.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Kia ora. No mai haramai whaino whanui. Aotearoa, a tiny but mighty nation, the land of the long white cloud at the edge of the world, often forgotten from world's maps, has become a beacon of hope, the guiding light to help pull the world out of hatred and injustice.
The event started at 9:30 with local dignitaries also addressing the crowd.
We gather as one to mourn for those lost 2 weeks ago today.
Attention then turned to the Remembrance Service at Hagley Park in Christchurch, live streamed throughout the country. The service wound up around midday, thousands leaving Hagley Park and other venues around the country, with possibly some semblance of closure from one of the worst events in New Zealand history. In Dunedin, the South today.
It's not often a child from Bangkok will get to share a sheep, but some visiting pupils from Kwalish School in Thailand were recently offered such an opportunity and grasped it with both hands.
A close shave. 22 pupils from Kalish High School in Bangkok checking out sheep shearing at Telford Southern Institute of Technology. Teacher and chaperone Reza Hanazaki says the pupils' trip to New Zealand is a good way for them to experience a different kind of life.
Oh, we loved it, and actually a lot of students, they volunteered to do the shearing, and because we don't get to see sheep in Thailand, like especially Bangkok, and so it's a new experience for all of us.
She says the kids are from one of the most populated cities on the planet and have never experienced things like this before. They were keen to get amongst it.
I'm surprised that they are really hands-on. They want to try them, and it's good information as well, like to know about the industry.
As well as being trainee rousies, the children also wanted to experience milking cows. But Hanazaki says it was too much of an early start.
We come here to see the milking. Have my students try to milk the cows, but at this time it's just 4 a.m. in the morning, so this one we couldn't do it.
The pupils attended South Otago High School during their stay, and all reports are they loved their visit. In Balclutha, the South today.
An award-winning modern remake of an ancient Greek myth was on as part of Dunedin's Fringe Festival recently. Orpheus was staged in an empty commercial space, incorporating music and speech into a theatrical event.
I'm drunk on colour, and I'm drunk on soul. I'm drunk on soul.
Tuning up for 2 more live performances for the Dunedin Fringe Festival. Phil Grange is the musical half of a UK duo whose modern retelling of the Greek myth Orpheus has been hailed by critics and fans alike. Grange's sidekick Alexander Flanagan Wright says they've been performing it around the world for nearly 3 years.
So when people come to the show, it's a spoken word and storytelling show full of live soul music. So I do all the talking, Phil does all the singing and playing, and there's just 2 of us in a traverse stage with the audience on either side, and it's an hour and 10 minutes of storytelling.
He says he wrote the words and Granger wrote the music, resulting in a no-frills adaptation of an ancient love story.
There's no set, there's no costumes, there's nothing, there's just your imagination and our very old ancient Greek modern story.
And because there's no real requirements for a stage and sets, it's able to be held in one of the city's unused retail spaces. Public art organisation the Dunedin Dream Brokerage is partnering up with the Dunedin Fringe Festival to provide venues for performances.
We enable people to put on creative, innovative events in empty retail commercial spaces in the city to make private space public temporarily, and that's what we're doing here with the Dunedin Fringe.
Orpheus is on tonight and tomorrow from 8 o'clock in Dunedin the South today.
Dunedin rally driver Emma Gilmore is geared up and ready for the 2019 season. She put her car to its first test at the weekend and came away with a win.
Strapping into an old friend. But Emma Gilmore's old friend has been given a new lease of life.
At the end of last season, we really knew that the car had to have some work done to it, so it's been a really big off-season for our team and also for Outfit up in Auckland, who basically we rebuilt the car from scratch. So I went back to a bare shell, got painted, redesigned a lot of stuff under the bonnet, got a lot of weight out of it, and I don't think the car's ever looked so good.
Gilmore and the crew took the car out for the ESCC Popatanua Rally Sprint, winning the event. She says the team thought about a brand new vehicle, but it was a question of finances.
We contemplated getting a new car, and especially with the new shape Suzuki Swift Sport out, it would have been a nice time to change. But the cost of building a new car, even the upgrade that we've done was an expensive exercise. But to actually start again with a brand new shell and then do the roll cage work and all of those kind of expenses, it really would have just made it too expensive to do.
Showing its speed off the start line at Popatanua, Gilmore admits using the old body shape could be a bit deceptive, as a lot of work has been put in to what's under the hood.
This is the plan. So she looks a bit more aggressive than last season. You've got a new spoiler on the back and different aero on the front. So I think it'll be pretty cool.
She's recently celebrated 17 years since she first entered a rally, and now finds that she's helping those driving their way up the ranks.
It is a sport that rewards experience, and there's no shortcut for it. So if you can help someone not make the same mistakes that you did and shorten up their experience or how long it takes them to get the experience, then that's a good thing, because experience also costs money. So the quicker that we can all get up to speed is the better we can be.
Gilmore and her team are looking forward to the Otago Rally in a couple of weeks' time, and she's excited by the changes to the event, which now has more of an international flavour.
The rally committee here have done an amazing job over the years, just building on the event every year, and it just gets more and more popular, and it has such a reputation around the world that it's now actually a round of the Asia Pacific series. So it's fantastic for Dunedin to have this event here.
The 2019 Otago Rally will form the opening round of the FIA APRC Pacific Rally Cup. Gilmore placed as well as ever to make the most of it. In Dunedin, the South today.
Coming up after the break on this edition of Southern Newsweek, we check in with an AMP show and meet a Christchurch ballerina on her way to New York. Welcome back. Tens of thousands of people have poured through the gates at the South Island Agricultural Field Days in Canterbury. Organisers of the three-day event at Kirwee were determined it would be the biggest and best yet, and it appears they may have pulled it off.
The Westpac Rescue helicopter touching down at the South Island Agricultural Field Days at Kirwee in Canterbury, just one of the many attractions on show over the three-day farming showcase. Organisers say the biannual event attracted nearly 650 exhibitors.
It's the biggest that we've been. We are the oldest field days in New Zealand, so we started in 1951, and field days around New Zealand has grown into what it is ever since that.
It's the third time the event's been held at the Kirwee site, with the vast expanse of land meaning exhibitors are able to provide live demonstrations of some of their more hefty products.
There's some expensive pieces of equipment being demonstrated, so we thank the exhibitors for putting their money where their mouth is too, I guess, and supporting our event and demonstrating their products.
And while there was plenty on show to impress those in the industry, there was also a push to attract newcomers to it as well.
So we've got some quizzes, and the Go Dairy quiz for people to do, which helps people understand what careers they want to achieve and they can get to.
So these careers are centred around dairy farming and also agri-science and agri-business. So 3 completely different parts of the sector, but all strongly encouraged to follow into.
Over 30,000 people passed through the gates over the 3 days, although a dollar value hasn't yet been determined.
Yeah, it's not all about the spending at the field days. I think the majority of the companies here just love the referrals that they get. A lot of farmers will go away, have a think about it, and then within the following few months make their decisions.
And the next chance they'll have to come back won't be until March 2021 in Kirwee, the South today.
Melina Allen Griffiths is chasing her dream all the way to New York after being selected to take part in a prestigious competition. The aspiring young Christchurch dancer is about to enter a contest which has been referred to as the Olympics of Ballet.
One of the main goals for us as a family is actually if we can find what the girls are passionate about and they can follow those passions, then I feel that life will be easier, that they will be happier. So that's really what our goal is just to assist them to do what they want to do, what they love to do, and they can get those opportunities.
I'm going over to New York to do a competition. The biggest competition for my age. It's called the YGP, which stands for the Youth American Grand Prix. It's the biggest competition for my age group. I'm very lucky to get in it. Not many people get in.
There's about 10,000 kids, they said this year, that have actually auditioned to get in, and 350 have got through.
Oh, when Melina got in, I was really excited for her. She's so talented, I thought she would get in.
We're really proud of her, really, and it's really a result of a lot of the hard work that she puts into it, and it just shows.
So I'd usually get up around 6 o'clock in the morning and I would do my maths, and then I'd get on to warming up and doing my ballet exercises, and then I'd go through some of my level 4 bar work, and then after that I'd try and remember some of my level 5 for this year.
Bye-bye.
We made it.
Well, it was really, something was required, so something had to be put together. As is with most projects, it's a little bit unfinished. There should be a few more holes there, but it'll do for now. It's an all-round thing, really. We all do our little bit. They put in the work with the ballet, we put in the work with finding the money to pay for the ballet.
It's a huge cost commitment. With going away, it's something that we really can't afford, but we're going to make happen. The competition is actually a scholarship competition, and what it is the company directors from big companies throughout the world come and watch the children, and then the older children, they might actually give them jobs pretty much on the spot after seeing them dancing, and others they might give summer intensives and training and just different things like that.
I've missed out with a few of the competitions in previous years, so this is one that I felt like I didn't really want to miss out on.
Yeah, we have taken on some extra work and extra cleaning jobs so that we can actually help to pay for some of the fees, because the fees is really tough every term.
And also she has to buy the hair stuff and all the things we need, all the point shoes, the ballet shoes, the ribbons.
Yeah, even yesterday the girls said that maybe we cut back on something, but it's sort of like, what do we cut back on? So yeah, we're doing everything we can for them. Sorry.
Yeah, you just got to put in the hard yards to get where they need to go. For the kids, absolutely worth it. Yeah, it's going to be something that they're going to look back on and be proud and be glad that they went and did and achieved. I don't think that's any other way. Yeah, and for us that means that's what we want. We want is for them to be able to do something, or for them to show that they've done something and be proud of something.
Southern breeders are sending Limousin cattle to the annual bull trials in Dunsandel. The Limousin breed of cattle are known for having a high feed conversion efficiency rate.
A load of high quality bull. Outram's Glencairn stud and Longridge's Black Creek stud are among the southern breeders sending yearling animals to a 10-month trial at Dunsandel.
We're Limousin breeders here in Otago, just out of Tapanui and Heriot, and every year we run about 35 cows here, but every year we send a couple of bulls up to the South Island Bull Trial in Dunsandel, where they can be tested alongside other breeders' bulls.
The trial runs from August to May, and Scott says about 16 animals are run together under the same conditions to remove environmental influences, so they're all on the same footing.
The idea of the trial is that we take out the environmental factors and that each bull will be assessed on its various growth rates and things like that, and then you can get a fair understanding of a bull's ability because they're all run in the same conditions.
The bulls are regularly weighed, while traits like docility, weight gain and intramuscular fat are scored. Their semen is also tested and DNA samples are taken.
All the data from the trial is put into Limousin Breed Plan, which is a group of Australian and New Zealand breeders, so there's quite a big pool of information there.
At the end of the trial, the bulls get a warrant of fitness and are then ranked and sold. Scott says it allows them to compare their stock against other breeders at a genetic level. The program is in its 11th year, while the North Island version has been running for about 20 years. In Otago, the South Today.
Still to come on this edition of Southern Newsweek, we check in with All Black Aaron Smith about his plans and see how successful a Dunedin skate jam was. Thanks for staying with us. Dunedin's skating community held a skate jam at the weekend at the Thomas Burns Skate Park. The event was to discuss plans for more skating venues around the city.
What goes up must come down. It's a lesson that skaters learn, some more than others. Organisers of Dunedin's skate jam at the weekend are pleased with the number of people who turned up to show their support for improving facilities across the city.
It was a pretty good day, real good weather, lots of people came out, got some epic skating done, lots of good giveaways, so yeah, it was pretty good.
Dunedin Skateboard Association's Roscoe Moore says people travelled to Thomas Burns Park from far and wide to take part in the event, many sharing thrills and spills.
Real far. People from Queenstown and Invercargill all came for a skate, it was great.
He says around 100 people signed up to join the association, which intends to lobby local authorities to improve and increase skating facilities in Dunedin.
We're working on it, we'd like to see a lot of things around the suburbs, around Dunedin, maybe like one big skate park, but yeah, lots of improvements for skateboarding in Dunedin.
According to internet sites including Wikipedia, skateboarding began in the 1940s or 1950s. Moore is challenging people with misconceptions about skate culture to come and visit skate parks, describing the community as one big happy family. He's pleased the sport is finally out of the shadows and is becoming an Olympic sport next year.
Well, yeah, it's not underground anymore. It's growing all the time. It's probably one of the fastest growing sports out there. I mean, it's so easy to get into, and it's a lot of fun, so yeah.
Following the weekends at Skate Jam, the Dunedin Skateboard Association plans to hold more events and grow membership. In Dunedin, the South Today.
All Blacks and Highlanders halfback Aaron Smith has chosen to stay in the South rather than chase the wealth of an overseas contract. He's signed with New Zealand Rugby for another 2 years, through until the end of the 2021 season.
A spring in the step for Aaron Smith at Highlanders training this week, at least metaphorically. The world-class halfback's been sidelined with an ankle injury, but has just announced he's signed a 2-year contract to stay in the South.
I'm very lucky and fortunate that in Dunedin I have a really good life and get to live out my dream playing rugby. It's not a bad stadium. I love playing for the Highlanders. As I said, we've got a small business in Dunedin locally, so I've got something outside of footy as well, which is quite good to have that balance. And then, as I said, expecting a baby, so just trying to get the house ready for that.
The 30-year-old says happiness for him has won the day in favour of a substantial offer from a Japanese club, much to the delight of the Highlanders coaching staff.
When you've got the best player in his position in the world committing to your club, I think it speaks volumes of what we're trying to do and what we're trying to build here. And he's at the heart of that. He's at the centre of all the good things that we do on the field in terms of how we play, but not only that, what he brings to the club off the field.
And it's off the field where Smith will be for the next few weeks, although just how long he'll be away from the action is a moot point.
It feels pretty good. The boot's mainly so I can move around as fast as I like to move, and I don't think it'll be 6 weeks, but I'll be definitely, with the big year that we've got ahead, I'll be doing what the medical staff recommend and not trying to rush it, but I definitely want to get back out there and help my teammates.
If things go to plan, he could become the first All Black halfback to play 100 tests. He's sitting at 82 at the moment. He's the second most capped Highlander and still hungry for more.
I'm not the finished product, and I'm just really glad that I've still got time to be able to get the best of what I can prove.
For this week at least, it'll be helping his Highlanders teammates from the sidelines as they look to break a 3-match losing streak when they host the Hurricanes on Friday night in Dunedin, the South today.
The South Dunedin Street Festival is having another crack at happening this weekend. Originally scheduled last November, it was postponed due to adverse weather, and organisers are hoping the calm autumn weather will stay with them for this Saturday.
The posters are up, and organisers say the South Dunedin Street Festival is all set to go 10 a.m. this Saturday.
Last November we had the Street Festival planned, all ready to go, and on the day we had to cancel the event due to the weather, saying it's going to be strong wind and that could have caused major disruption.
With stalls, food, music and more, the event has been showcasing the South Dunedin area for a number of years. Organising committee member Paul Allen says it was disappointing having to cancel last November, but choosing April is a sign of things to come.
Yes, we decided in November last year that we would shift the whole event each year, so we've now made it a permanent April event due to better weather.
Allen says in light of the recent tragedy in Christchurch, people who wander around the stalls will notice a high police presence.
Certainly police will be there. They're going to be part of the festival as well as being very obviously around the place, so so for people to be aware of that.
Demonstrations by Amadeo of Otago Museum and more are scheduled during the day. Paul Allen says there will be music on the main stage from 10 a.m, with acts and styles changing regularly through the day.
We've got choirs like the Freedom to Sing choir. We've even got a pipe band going down in part of the street as well. We have dancers, Pacific Trust performers, Queen's dance group Rasa, bands such as Catharticus and Before the Snooze playing.
The South Dunedin Street Festival is set to kick off at 10 a.m. sharp, with entertainment for people of all ages through the day, some on the main stage and others all around South Dunedin's main drag. In Dunedin, the South Today.
Dunedin Pride Week starts today and runs until the 8th of April. And with Pink Shirt Day coming up in May, organisers say it's the perfect time for 2 volunteers from Wellington group Inside Out to come to Dunedin and host school workshops.
So we're here to run a Creating Rainbow Inclusive Schools workshop. So it's part of a series that we've been funded by the Mental Health Foundation and the Pink Shirt Day Aotearoa campaign to travel to 6 cities across New Zealand and deliver workshops. The kind of aim is to support both staff and students in their local areas to create more rainbow inclusive school environments for people.
We know that our rainbow young people are sort of 4.5 to 5 times more likely to be bullied than their peers, and all of the sort of statistics, whether it's mental health, suicide, self-harm, substance abuse, are all significantly higher, and a lot of that is to do with minority stress, so the fact that they can't be who they are, but we also know that they have this fantastic quality that so many of them are volunteering and putting the work in, trying to make changes in their schools. So we want to make that, I guess, as easy and fulfilling as possible. And then we work sort of usually in 2 groups with the staff and the students to kind of identify what issues are in your schools, what's really concerning you, and then how can we help you to make that better, empowering the whole school to step up against all of this, so it's not just on one teacher or one student, and coming up with really concrete, doable action plans that people can take away with them.
We've had students say, it's actually so nice to hear that my teachers do notice or do care, but they also struggle with calling this stuff up sometimes, and the staff have been it's been amazing to be in this professional learning space with students and see how articulate and passionate they are, and so it's a really cool space for intergenerational kind of dialogue. Pink Shirt Day runs in New Zealand on Friday, May 17th this year, which is the same day as International Day Against Homophobia, Biphobia and Transphobia. So how can we be spreading positive messages and targeting that particular type of bullying? So one thing that Inside Out is going to be doing is launching a poster competition around the phrase "That's So Gay." Because the workshops we've been doing around the country, that's come up as one of the biggest things that are still being said in schools, unfortunately. We're really excited to see what kind of ideas they come up with, and then we're going to distribute those posters across the country for all schools to use. So it'll be interesting. Really interesting to see what issues come up in Dunedin and how different that is to the other cities that we've visited so far.
That's all for this edition of Southern News Week. For the latest news from the Southern region, head online to odt.co.nz and follow Channel 39 on Facebook and YouTube. Have a lovely evening. Ka kite anō.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.